A warning to all about to listen to this podcast. The following audio may contain spoilers and inappropriate language, but most importantly, this podcast will definitely contain some bad opinions. You have been warned, but for now, let's get on with the show. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Anime Bro podcast, the place to be for all of your anime recommendations and reviews, but just bear in mind, we may make your favourite anime a little bit shittier. Joining me on the show this week, I've got two special guests. We're doing a collaboration with Yui's pod, and joined by Tom.
Hiya.
And I'm joined by Yui.
Hey.
And we've also got Raverin with us today. Yui? Yeah, Andrew even. Sorry. And Tim.
Just interrupt me when I'm about to say hey. Yeah, bitch.
You can say hey if you want.
No, the moment has passed.
Alright, fine, fuck you then. I'll skip right to question of the week. Alright, question of the week this week is, what is your favourite Toy Story toy? I'm going to start with you, Tim. You seemed to decide pretty quick last time.
Yeah, it's got to be Spanish Buzz Lightyear.
It was a tough one for me, but I think I'm going to go with the aliens. The three alien dudes.
Yeah,
that's all. A stranger from the outside. Whoa, those guys are awesome. So, Tom, have you decided which one's your favourite now?
I'm gonna have to go with the pink bear.
The pink bear. I didn't watch most of Toy Story 3, but from what I did watch, bit of a dick.
Yeah, I like villains. I like good villains. Like good villains always. Like I remember good villains way more than good heroes.
That's a good point. Yeah. What about you, Andrew?
I would say the Slinky.
Slinky?
Yeah.
Or the dog.
Yeah. He's always so disappointed.
Yeah, I know.
He just like to be fair though, his like character is he's more or less the shittest toy. His like entire body just gets like abused on a daily basis, and he has like this really.
Mind.
Oh wait, what are you saying?
He's stressed out.
Yeah, he was a close second for me.
Mostly because the voice actor for him has been in every single Disney Pixar movie since Toy Story 1.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
He's one of the only things that repeats in every Pixar movie, as well as there's a number code called A113, I think.
Yeah. And the Pizza Planet truck as well.
Yeah,
it's every... Yeah.
The thing behind it is it's actually the number for the classroom that Walt Disney set up for animation in some college, and it's been in every single movie.
Pixar's pretty cool about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. What's the blue dude from Monsters Inc. called?
Sully.
Didn't they use his skin as like a bath mat or something like that in another movie?
Brave.
No,
I think it's Brave.
No, there's a carving of Sully in The Witch's Hut in Brave.
There's a big theory, like fan theory, that connects every single Pixar movie into a single universe.
They're all in one timeline, starting with Brave, finishing at the minute with Monsters Inc. and Monsters University, and that the crazy witch lady in Brave is actually Boo from Monsters Inc.
Wow, really?
She like goes back in time because she's like obsessed with the bear, right? And there's like carvings of the bear in her hut. Yeah,
basically what happens is, because obviously she calls Sully a cat. she obviously has memories of going to the monsters world, searches all over the world for ways of it. Yeah, and she finds the power of the doors, goes back in time, then she kicks off animals having sentience, which starts like a three-way power struggle between humans, animals.
I think we've seen the exact same
AI.
Video. Yeah, we've seen the exact same video, I think.
And it basically culminates in Wall-E, and then there's a massive time jump or an alternate reality where monsters are now having a power struggle where they have to use humans for their fear or their laughter.
That's a lot of effort to go to try and impress some 5-year-olds, I've got to say.
Well, the thing is it's a fan theory. Like you can make the connection, but the connection's pretty shaky. It's not like
it's not 100%.
It's not that you can prove that they're all linked. It's that you can't prove they're not.
No,
you know what I mean.
The theory behind it's fan based, but I think the actual quote itself was from one of Pixar's CEOs.
Oh,
that's right. I do remember that actually being a pretty cryptic clue. One of the Pixar guys.
Because there's a company in it called By and Large. That's got stuff to do with a company that appears in Cars.
It's the company that tries to buy the house in Up as well.
Yeah, and
Wall-E obviously.
What other Pixar movies it in? It's Oh, basically, it's everyone thinks that that's the company that the AI faction own, essentially. Because they're the guys that buy the Earth and have all the humans teleported off the Earth.
It's kind of like a Dark Souls. It's like a Dark Souls theory where you've got like 6 bits of information and you have to try and connect them all. All right, so what are we gonna do now?
In the great words of Cassie, so how about that anime? She's not here to say it anymore. Our first topic was suggested to us by Andrew, and that was what was it that got you into anime? So I'll start with you, Andrew, seeing as how you brought up the topic of the conversation. What got you into anime?
Or did it?
What?
Oh, sorry, my Skype kind of...
Should we get back to Andrew then? Yeah. Them to reconnect.
No, but like, what did you say, Dave?
Oh, sorry, I said the topic that you brought about was what was it that got you into anime? And seeing as how you brought up the topic of conversation, I want to know if you want to go first.
Yeah. All right. What got me into anime? Shit, I can't even talk. What got me into anime was Eureka 7. Like, I didn't know what anime was until then. I mean, and like I saw all the shows that were airing on Toonami, like Dragon Ball,
yeah, Echimoyo,
Inuyasha, and there was tons of shows that I used to watch. But Eureka 7, I looked it up. I was like, I want to watch more of it because Toonami would only show like a little bit at a time, and then I figured out, I was like, oh, it's from Japan. I thought it was from here. Okay.
How do I go about getting more of this stuff?
I know. So that's really basically how I got into anime. And then as far as my genre, I started watching K-On!, which I watched a lot in high school, and I figured I like moe, so that's my genre.
Well, I'll go next then. I think I started off pretty much like everybody else. I got into all the classics as a kid. Well, what we would call classics now. You know, you're saying that word just makes you feel old anyway. I got into Pokemon, Digimon, Beyblade, Yu-Gi-Oh, all those things. And then I think the last thing I watched was Dragon Ball Z, and I didn't watch a single thing right up until I was 18 or 19 years old. Me and my friend got drunk. I was like, oh, dude, I've been watching this thing. It's called Death Note. You're going to absolutely love it. We've got to watch it. I'm like, Steve, I'm not watching these weird cartoons from Asia. They're very... with the tentacle rape and the blood and the guts. I'm not interested. So basically his plan was, right, I'm going to get him really drunk, take him to the pub, bring him back to my place, and then we'll watch Death Note because he'll be drunk and he won't be able to say no. I know what you're thinking, but...
That definitely sounds like rape to me.
That's British culture in a nutshell.
So,
that's right, love. If I get you pissed, you're not going to say no when I stick my finger inside you.
When he sticks his anime inside Dave.
Wait, what?
So
keep going, man.
So we got back to ours, cracked open another couple of cans, and then he's got hold of my laptop. And he goes onto this really shit website, I think it was like animefreak.com or something like that, and he's like, Dave, just give it a chance. I'm like, I'm too drunk to care, fucking whatever, put on whatever you want. So then we watched the first 2 episodes of Death Note, and I'm trying to play it cool. I'm like, wasn't too bad, I suppose, you know, it's not really something I'm after. He gets in touch with me the next day, and he's like, so, what are you up to? And I went, I'm about 30 episodes into Death Note, and this is some thoroughly good shit. So from that point on, it just kind of snowballed from there, really. From then on, I went and watched Angel Beats in the next few days, and marathon that in a day, and I was an emotional wreck afterwards. And then I got into...
that was like me with D. Greymon.
Yeah, I was like, this was back when, before there even was a podcast, actually, and I was saying to Cassie, I'm getting into anime now, you like anime, what should I watch? And she was like, I really like Angel Beats, it's not quite action-y that you would like, but I just go for it anyway. And I remember speaking to her like 6 or 7 hours later, I'm like, why did you make me watch that show, you bitch? Oh, God. And yeah, and then it just snowballed from there. I watched Full Metal Alchemist, Code Geass, and to the point now where I'm doing a podcast about it, talking about it, watching weekly shows and what have you. So yeah, it's pretty much my story. Tim?
Mine pretty much started off the same through Toonami, except obviously, as anybody who's heard me talk on this podcast for more than 5 minutes realise, I absolutely fucking love mecha. Then I didn't really touch anything until probably when I first got out of school. So I had just finished my GCSEs, so I was about 16. And a friend of mine went, "You like all that creepy Japanese stuff?" I was like, "A little bit, yeah, why?" He's like, "Yeah, watch this." And I think he put me onto VO. Sorry, I keep burping. Yeah, he put me onto VOTV. And I was just like, "What the fuck is this crap?" And he's like, "It's fine, just watch it. Look, search for these two shows." And I think he handed me Oren and Kanokon. And if anyone's seen Kanokon, you'll realise how fucked up that show is. Basically,
he pushed you into the deep end then.
Yeah, well, I already, like, a friend of my dad's had already went, I've got a load of these VHSs I don't want anymore. I know you sort of like that Japanese stuff. Here, have it. One of them was Urisuka Dojo Legend of the Overfiend.
I've just got to stop you right there. Actually, I tell a lie. The first time I ever seen anime was very late at night one time when my mum had gone to bed. I snuck into her room and she had a VHS copy of Akira. So I put that on for like 5 minutes and scared the crap out of me and stopped watching.
Yeah, no, Urisuka Dojo is quite literally the definition of tentacle porn.
I remember that.
There's one scene when the main character, basically it's supposed to be a future thing when the main character's actually ascended into his demon lordness. And let me put it this way. Tentacles that are penises that shoot lasers.
There was a thing on Channel 4, like the top 100 cartoons of all time.
Yeah, it's on there.
It was on that. That's the same thing.
That's one of the ways how I found out about it to begin with.
Yeah, I know about it. I've never seen it, but I know about that.
The funny thing is, a couple of years later, me and a friend were in HMV having a look through the anime section, and there's these three little old women there, and they grab one of the guys around HMV and ask him, "Have you got this, 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 this?" And I looked at the piece of paper that they were holding, and it was all three Legends of the Overfiends. I was just like, "Oh my good God, we have three pensioners here looking for tentacle porn."
See, that's interesting for them because that's the type of porn that didn't even exist when they were young.
Yeah, exactly. But no, after that, I pretty much sort of went for the classics. I found Naruto. I pretty much marathoned the entire pre-Shippuden within about a week.
Yeah,
wow,
all 220 episodes. Then I just sort of bummed around watching whatever I could get my hands on. So I think at the time, it was back when there was a channel on Sky called Anime TV.
Really?
And it's quite literally, they showed an episode of Full Metal Alchemist, an episode of the first season of Bleach, and then about 6 different episodes of Ghost in the Shell every single night.
Huh.
So I'd record Bleach and Full Metal, and I watched all of that. Then eventually I got myself back into the mecha genre, so I ended up watching like G Gundam, obviously
Gundam.
And I haven't actually watched that many of the series, I know we go on about it like I have, but I actually haven't. And then, of course, I stumbled onto the heartache that is Gurren Lagann and fell in love with Kamina. Oh. And then I got to episode 5.
And then the spoilers happen. Right then, so Tom, we'll move on to you next. How did you get into anime?
More or less, there's like a predefined path of like self-discovering anime, which goes like kid stuff, shonen stuff, and then everything else, like the 3-step process.
Kid stuff, shonen, porn.
That's a secret 4th step we don't tell our mums about because they'll be ashamed of us.
Oh yeah, of course. Just keep that on the DL.
Yeah. No, so like starting off like pretty much the same thing you guys are saying, except Dave, you kind of skipped out the 2nd step of like starting off on like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon and like the stuff that everyone watched. Like everyone of like our generation watched that stuff on telly, you know. And then
good old days when Yu-Gi-Oh was mainstream.
Yeah, I know. There was a time when Yu-Gi-Oh was actually mainstream, when more kids knew what Yu-Gi-Oh was than didn't.
I remember when more kids
caused
actually
some murder in school.
Card game. Yeah, I remember when the card games got banned.
Yeah, did the card games and Blades get banned at your school?
Beyblade, surprisingly enough, lasted a lot longer in our schools than everything else. Pokemon cards got banned, and then Yu-Gi-Oh came in. Then they got banned because people kept stealing them. But then Beyblade ran on for a long time, up until that it was at the arc when Kai got hold of Black Dronza and started stealing other people's Bit Beasts. So then everybody in our school was like, we should totally do that. And then they'd start going around challenging people to Beyblade battles or whatever. And then he wins, go, oh, I win your Bit Beast, and they'd steal it out of the Beyblade and run away with it. And then that didn't stop it from getting banned in school. It was only when some guy was like, I've just gone to Spain and picked up this all-metal Beyblade. Let me show you what it can do. let it rip right through a fucking window. That's when it got banned at our school.
You know what? The funny thing was about my school, I was the only kid that got into Beyblade.
Really?
There's tons of us.
Oh, no,
yeah.
I was the only one.
Beyblade was just as big as Yu-Gi-Oh here.
Yeah, I think that by the time everyone sort of recoiled from Yu-Gi-Oh, and didn't end up being that popular down in the south of Liverpool. And then, because I like talking like south of Liverpool, beginning of Knowsley-ish area.
That's not even Liverpool.
It technically is.
You didn't even have purple bins.
We had maroon bins.
Exactly.
It's purple with a shade of red.
Right, reel it in. Beyblade.
Yeah.
Beyblade. So Beyblade wasn't very popular.
And then I found out about Beedemon when I got into senior school.
Now, you see, I've only ever heard that by name before. I don't actually know anything about it.
Think Beyblade. Think Beyblade, but instead of having spinning tops, you have little figures that you fire marbles at each other.
Oh. It's a unique concept, I suppose.
Beyblade, one kid at our school decided to file down the edges. Like, there was one metal ring that stuck out.
Oh, yeah, the weight disc.
Yeah, the weight disc. There was one of those that stuck out loads. You can make it stick out loads, and he filed it down and then tried picking it up. Sliced his hand open.
Oh, while it was still spinning.
Yeah, while it was still spinning, tried to pick it up when he'd filed down the tips on this weight disc.
Oh, what a fucking idiot!
Yeah,
I think
speaking of stuff like that, though, I've actually just noticed Beyblade have got a split-off series called Bay Wheels.
Yeah,
really?
It's on Cartoon Network.
Yeah, it's on Netflix as well. It's based on the anime saga Beyblade. The series moves in the action city of destruction.
As much as I want to get back to my anime origins, have you guys seen the OP for Shogun Steel, the new Beyblade series?
No.
I haven't watched a single episode of that, but I've got the OP in a playlist. It's so good. It's like a rap dubstep fusion.
What?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, a guy rapping about Beyblades over a dubstep beat. It's
I'm gonna go look this up now.
It's amazing. And even though the guy sounds like he's just working for a paycheck, the rapper, there's no emotional heart in it whatsoever. He's basically sighing after every sentence. But the dubstep beat's actually really good.
Wait, I think I found the English opening. I'm not sure.
So what was it? What was this new Beyblade spin-off actually based on? Beyblade Wheels? Is it
Bay Wheels.
Bay Wheels?
Wheels.
What's it based off? What do the Beyblades do nowadays?
I think it's instead of the Beyblades being a spinning top, it's sort of take the Beyblade, stick it on its side, and let it go around a track.
Oh, right.
Oh my god, wait.
Like Hot Wheels.
It's taken the natural progression that Yu-Gi-Oh took. Card games on motorcycles. Beyblades on motorcycles!
Alright, so I think that wraps up how everybody got into anime and stuff like that. Does anybody else have any final comments on that?
Just to wrap mine up, really, just Pokemon into Naruto into Death Note.
Yeah, so Death Note was both of our gateway show. Our new gateway show.
Yeah, should we transition to gateways then?
I suppose that would be a good idea. Yeah.
That would be a pretty slick segue.
That is a pretty good. Okay, we'll go into that one then.
Yeah, it's something we were talking about before the show. Just as we were getting to know each other, we were just chatting about anime, and that was one of the topics we decided to put a pin on was shows to recommend people to get them if they're interested in what anime is. What do you recommend them to watch the first time? That's
a conversation that's popped up amongst my circle of friends twice in the past week. Really, it's been really strange.
And my opinion is the two best choices are Attack on Titan and Death Note. And I think you agree with Death Note, but you've got some reservations about Attack on Titan.
I'm also sure about Attack on Titan, maybe because it would be just a little bit too over the top in terms of violence. Really, that's all.
I don't know.
I had. No, I'd agree on that because with Attack on Titan, I was like, oh, cool. Wait, they've killed the main character within the 4th episode? What the fuck?
Yeah, but that's what people want on Western TV. So it depends what you're recommending it to. If you're recommending it to someone who's not going to be interested in violence, that's fair enough. But if you think of the TV shows that are really big, Western TV shows, it's things like Walking Dead and Game of Thrones. And honestly, with the character deaths and the zombie-like enemies, I think Attack on Titan hits Western TV show sweet spots really hard.
When Attack on Titan first came out, that's actually how I described it as Japanese Game of Thrones. do not fall in love with any character because they will die.
Yeah, but the Titans are just basically giant zombies as well. So I actually say it's like it's like anime Walking Dead.
No, see, I'm a bit of a bugger, and I will recommend the weirdest, most fucked up anime I know.
Like you see, that's where we differ, because like when I introduce somebody to anime, I want to try and bring them in, so to speak. I don't want them to just watch this one show and then bugger off. It's kind of like,
I don't be saying, listen, watch as many as you can, watch as many as you can get a hold of. But personally, I'd recommend this one, and just sort of slide something like what was that one we got on Blu-ray before? High School DxD. I'll just slide that across the table.
Slide that across the table and just like peek at them with your like glasses, reflective glasses over your hands, like Gendo.
Yes.
What's your move? Your move is one.
The main one you should show him is High School of the Dead.
Oh god.
Oh, I heard you like zombies and boobs. Well, you put zombies with your boobs so you can boob while you zombie, girl.
The only reason I would recommend Death Note above everything else is because like Death Note's kind of got a bit of everything in there. It's got that little bit of anime weirdness that every show tends to have to it. It's got death in it. It's got mystery. It's got action. It's got drama. Tiny bit of romance as well, if you're into that kind of thing. I just think Death Note hits so many nice sweet spots. It's too perfect not to be the one to recommend. I would show that to somebody and say, well, now that you've seen this, what do you prefer, the action side of it, the mystery side of it, and then you can go from there. If you like the action side of things, and maybe if you're into like Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead, maybe then I would say, well, here's Attack on Titan. If they like mystery and stuff like that, I'd say maybe here's Heaven's Memo Pad or something like that. It all just really depends what the person's into, but as I say, Death Note just hits that sweet spot and everything.
Slight counter-argument to that, though. What about I'll Know a Zero?
I'm not sure. I mean, it needs a dub, obviously, because you've got to recommend people dubs.
Oh yeah,
first.
definitely, yeah.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. That's the thing about Death Note. Death Note's got such a great dub.
Oh yeah, agreed. Absolutely fantastic.
Do you know what? Even if you want to try and introduce them to the Japanese side, you can always make them watch the live-action movie, because all of the actors actually are the voice actors for their characters.
Really? I didn't actually know that. That explains why Light's kind of chubby. I always thought that was a weird casting choice.
I don't know. Do you know what? The one thing I haven't confessed to, I've never actually watched Death Note subbed before. Only ever watched it.
I've watched a bit of it, and I was like immediately, I was just like, I don't like this L. This isn't L. Because the dub L is so good.
Oh yeah.
If anyone's spoken to me about Death Note, they'll know I've watched a couple of episodes and really could not get into it, and because of certain prejudice I have in the convention world as well. Like,
yeah, we've discussed this before, yeah.
I just cannot get into Death Note without looking at L and just going, lazy motherfucker.
Even though he's really smart.
Well, no, that's the thing. It's from a cosplayer's point of view. Like, I don't try to be an elitist, but as far as it comes to, unless you're doing it fantastically spot on, where you see someone walking around a convention in blue jeans, a white shirt, no shoes, and a black wig, you know that they had no clue what to do and thought, fuck it, we can do L.
If you're gonna cosplay L, you need to fucking roleplay that shit. You need to get the mannerisms and like the speech pattern and the sitting style and all that down.
And that's the thing.
You're just being lazy.
Have a dude follow you around with sweets and cakes.
Yeah, most people go around with the lollipop, have a phone, no footwear, and then sort of answer the phone the same, but that's about as far as it goes. And it drives me insane. Like, anybody from my cosplaying group will know I am a bastard when it comes to CNLs. Like, do you remember, Dave, what you said about, Steven said about whenever you watch an anime, you turned into a dog when a certain character turned on screen? You just started growling.
Yeah, when I was watching Al Haru Ride, yeah.
Yeah, I do the same whenever I see an L.
Wait, who didn't you like in Al Haru Ride?
All of them, but I hated the, what was her name, Yuri? I hated her the most.
Oh, the pink-haired girl?
Yeah, the orange-haired girl.
Oh yeah, she's kind of pink. Yeah, that's right.
The one with the pink cardigan. Yeah,
that's right. That's right. Yeah,
so much. Every time she's on screen, I'm just like, go away. No.
I had that. Have you guys seen Free?
Yes, oh, God. I live with somebody who worshipped Free.
It's good. We've talked about Free a lot on our podcast.
Have you seen the abridged series?
No, yeah. I wonder what kind of jokes they make.
50% off, it's called. Let me put it this way. What's his name? The cute little one. Yeah, Nagihisa is actually a... Yes, I said Nagihisa.
Nagisa, like from Conan.
Nagihisa. either way, he's a like drug running pimp, and like Rin is is essentially Dexter from the live action thing when he's a serial killer.
Yeah.
Haru has multiple personality disorder, which all live in his head and talk to each other. Except they killed the Haru that could read.
That actually sounds pretty funny. The character I used to growl at was the little grey-haired dude on the other teams. He's the most worthless little piece of shit.
Like, speaking of free, I think it's like a reverse K-On! It's reversing. Yeah, I know, but it's reversing the characters from K-On! But they're guys, just not girls.
For the female audience, yeah.
Yeah.
Tim, I just want to go back very quickly to a point you made there. Why would you suggest Al No Zero as a gateway anime?
Yeah, good point.
It was more just as obviously as a mecha fan, it spoke to me because mecha, but it's like the suspense and mystery of why is this war star and the action sequences in it, and the fact you've got like a princess who's not actually that annoying.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah.
Obviously, the point of if anyone's watched Gundam Wing, the what's her name? Basically, Zex Marquis' little sister. Basically, that's it. Relina Peacecraft. Yeah. She is supposed to be the story of how she grows up, more or less. But she is so fucking annoying. Like, quite literally, within the first few episodes, Hiro Yui, the main character out of the 5 Gundam pilots, tries to kill her about 6 times. She is that fucking annoying.
Have you ever been so annoyed by somebody you've tried to kill them 6 times? Yeah, Bleok. Not really Bleok.
I think the question should be: Have you ever been annoyed with someone and been so bad at killing people that you've tried to kill them 6 times? That's a really bad success rate. Like, after the 4th time, you should be like, "Oh, I'm not cut out for this."
He tries to kill her, and then his conscience suddenly goes, "Wait, isn't this a bad idea?" And he's like, "Shut up, conscience!" It's like, "No, you're gonna listen to me."
I'm picturing more like Wile E. Coyote with that holding the envelope.
Yeah,
just like really inept and like can't get his plans together.
It's usually after his conscience kicks in, or one of the other pilots comes along and goes, "Hey, hero, I'm a pilot too. You should pay attention to me."
Go away, I'm busy. I have murder on the mind. So, Al No Zero, I'm not.
Maybe.
I'm kind of with you. It's kind of...
maybe. I just. I kind of tagged that as a mediocre show until the finale.
I loved that show the entire way through. Those action scenes spoke to me, and it was like another language that only me and the action scene knew.
I love it so much just because from a mecha point of view, you've got a main character who's actually using the worst possible suit he can use and still manages to kick the ass of these almighty god suits.
Deus Ex Machina can explain everything on that point.
Yeah, he just pushes up his glasses and has the Sugoi Senpai, like, fucking genius plan, you know?
Just like
that's what I mean though, but I'm so used to, like, from a mecha standpoint, you're so used to having these characters with essentially Deus Ex, they're the ones that are piloting the Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah. You know, maybe if the person I was trying to talk into anime was maybe a Star Trek or a Star Wars fan, maybe then I might do something like
That's a good show. That's a good show.
As any kind of sci-fi fan, anyway. I don't know. If any kind of sci-fi fan, I might think Steins Gate, but then I'm thinking, like, do you give them the best show straight away and then? Let's just get you into this series, into anime, by giving you a show about a time-traveling microwave. Everything else will be seemingly shite. Do you know what? That's one of the reasons why I haven't touched it yet. Because I've heard it's so good, I don't want to spoil myself for the rest of my anime life.
I think you're really overhyping it. Because the brilliance of Steins Gate is it becomes one of the best anime you've ever seen without you even realizing it. And if you're just sitting there waiting for it to happen, I don't think you'll have the same experience that everyone else did.
Yeah.
Probably the reason why I couldn't get into Madoka straight away. I still haven't watched it up to episode 4 yet. But I mean, it just speaks to me straight away.
You got to the spoiler and thought, no, fuck it, I'm out, I'm done.
No, I haven't got up to there yet. I've watched the first 2 episodes, and obviously it was when you said, no, wait till you get to episode 4, and if you don't like it, then leave it. But
it's episode 4 when the
blonde one, yeah. I already know what happens. Like, I just don't know the run-off.
She was a boring character anyway.
No, I would have liked to be honest with you. There is actually mangas because it's obviously there's actually other Puella Magica like for the other characters as well, and she actually has a whole own story arc of how she
Well,
comes in.
that kind of I honestly I don't think if you haven't seen it, we can't really discuss any of this without spoiling it.
Yeah, probably.
Honestly, we can't really talk anymore about that character. And like,
I would really like to at some point in the future do a proper Madoka Magica review, because in our first episode we reviewed Madoka, but I'd like to do another one and try and do it justice and maybe encompass the movies into it as well.
I think Madoka is a really interesting series. I think honestly, I think its best aspect up until the finale is its style and its point. The point it's trying to make of like subverting the magical girl genre, but then the finale hits and it's like this really interesting like philosophy question.
I don't actually give a crap about spoilers if you're trying to avoid spoilers.
It's a relatively recent series, so I'm not going to go into it because it doesn't really need bringing up. Just to say that it's really interesting.
Just in general, if you're trying to avoid specific plot points because I'm here, I don't really give a crap.
Yeah, but it's new. Hopefully, there's hundreds of other people here as well. So
millions.
Okay. Millions of imaginary friends listening, which I wouldn't want to spoil it for. So
yeah,
because that's the thing is it's new enough that I would tiptoe around it.
There's one thing that did get brought up. It was a conversation between myself and my cousin, and he seemed to think that the best show to show somebody straight away was Fate Zero. Now, I take a big issue with this. I don't agree with that whatsoever. And his main point was, well, if you're trying to get somebody into anime, why not show them the best straight off the bat? And I'm not really quite sure. I consider Fate Zero to be the best anime that I've ever seen anyway. And I can't help but think, well, why would you show them the best straight off the bat? Because then, like, you know, and I said, so what would you recommend them after that? And he just listed off, like, F for Tale of Memories, like, basically all of my favourites. And I'm like, so you're going to show them the best straight away? What would you guys say on that one? I
think best is, first off, best is super subjective.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's maybe 6 or 7 shows that make up 80% of people's best anime. There's no solid standout. You know, for most people, I'd say it's, like, between... let's go. Steins Gate, Madoka Magica, Fate Zero, Death Note,
Bebop Evangelion.
Yeah, Bebop Evangelion.
Any sort of classics really like that as well.
Yeah, there's just so many people. All of these shows, for the most part, are really different.
Maybe I would even say like the best in terms of animation, because up until Fate Stay Night 2014, Fate Zero was the best animation.
And that's one of the reasons why I think it's a really good choice, because I think on some aspects it's a really good choice, on some aspects it might not be the best, but one of the things I think makes it a really solid choice is because it looks so goddamn good, you know.
Oh my god.
And you can just show people like clips of it and people will be interested because people want to see more of what that is. You know what I mean? Like when Saber's standing in the river and like all those particles are flying around, that just looks spectacular. Like I'd imagine like most people would find that visually like exciting, you know. Like, even with no interest in anime.
But would you still show them Fate Zero even though the first episode's like 40 minutes an hour long?
Yeah. So because I've actually recommended this to a friend. I've got a friend who's really on the fence about anime. He's like on and off talking about starting it with his girlfriend, and like the thing is, I've been pushing anime on him for like 5 years, and it's not gone through. So I'm not like pushing it anymore. But what I say is, you've got 3 to pick from.
I have to admire your determination to stick it out for 5 years, man. That's pretty.
Well,
good.
I just keep bringing it up because we're gaming buddies, so I just keep bringing it up every now and again because I like, talk about what I'm watching. So the 3 things I've got down for him is like you either start with Death Note, you start with Attack on Titan, and you start with Fate Zero, like based on his interests.
What did you actually think of the first episode of Fate Zero? Because I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's really good. It's just like, let's be honest, a lot of anime fans have very short attention. Like the anime fans the anime fans are like bred on One Piece and Bleach and Naruto, you know. But that's not everyone, obviously.
I agree with that short attention span thing though, because let's just like something we talked about the last podcast I was in. I get the void about twice a week. It's actually gotten to the case now where I've actually been hit by the void about 3 times within the space of a day.
I have to admire that, because the last time I got the void, and not to divert away from the topic too much, because I talk about Fate Zero all bloody day. But sorry, what was that?
What the fuck is the void?
It
sounds like some kind of mystical illness.
When you finish like a series or something that you found was so fantastic that you don't know what to carry on to next.
Oh right.
Yeah, it's just that like.
Or you get so bored, or you watch in the middle of watching something and you get so bored you cannot possibly do anything.
Okay, I call that the itch.
I do that every time.
What do you call it? Sorry.
The itch, but that's more
The
for
itch.
MMOs and stuff. I don't know.
Oh,
maybe.
right. I'm gonna get that on Terra. Like my character is so close to hitting level 60 now, so as soon as I get level 60, I'm like, well.
I guess it's not entirely the same, but yeah, after I've not played an MMO for a while, I get the itch and I have to go back.
I was like that as well, yeah. So, sorry, what were we talking about on Fate Zero before we spoke
Fate Zero.
Animation,
I was going to bring
beautiful.
up
animation, beautiful, opening episode, maybe a bit too
Oh
much
my
for some
god,
people.
woman, your hands are fucking freezing.
Kirsty, ladies and gentlemen,
I was
Kirsty.
wondering why my girlfriend was rubbing her hands together, and then suddenly she sticks them down the back of my neck.
Yeah, so maybe the first episode maybe being a bit too much, and anime fans nowadays having a shorter attention span than usual.
maybe. I mean, Fate Zero gets exciting pretty quick.
Oh yeah.
It's just that first episode, and honestly, I think Western fans are used to boring first episodes, like, or maybe you guys heard The Leftovers, new HBO show. That has like 2 first episodes before anything like interesting happens, and that's 2 hours.
Yeah,
and
see, I got into that point a couple of years ago where I'd have to give an anime about 4 episodes before I actually thought of whether carrying on watching it or not.
The usual rule's 3 episodes though, isn't it?
Yeah.
To be honest, it starts off with 2
4.
because the likes of Blue Exorcist, obviously the first episode was, if you want to class it as the first episode, it was 2 episodes long. The first little bit of introductory story took 2 episodes.
Yeah, I get you.
But even now, it's even more interesting to see how people fare with Fate Stay Night 2014. Because the first 2 episodes were both 40 minutes long as well, and they were basically just, like, character building.
Each episode had let's put it this way: episode 1 had the Archer Lancer fight.
That Archer Lancer fight.
And if you stick around for that, you're walking home with a boner. Like,
oh yeah,
that was one of the most spectacular things I've seen in an anime to date.
When I knew that episode was coming out, I was like, I had to get my room ready. I lit the candles. I went and got a couple of cans of cider. I told my mum to stay away from the room for 40 minutes. I lit the incense. She's like, what the fuck's going on? Is there a girl in your room? And I'm like, don't be fucking silly. And I got the atmosphere perfectly right and watched it. And then at the end of it, I walked out of my room. My mum was like, so I wasn't. I was just like,
walked out of the room, pinching a tent 3 foot wide.
Pretty much. But I don't know. I would say Fate Zero for the set. Like, if they watch Death Note, it's always got to be Death Note, and then I'd say Fate Zero for when the time is right. Just because I think of it that highly.
One thing I do really like about Fate Zero as a starting point is it's got. If you think about anime and like things that are unique to anime rather than any other genre, I think Fate Zero has the best of that. Like, if we look at Death Note and Attack on Titan, both of these series could be live-action, Western live-action productions, and be entirely the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Like Attack on Titan literally could be an English cast with CGI Titans, and it would be the exact same story. Same with Death Note. Death Note could be set in New York. Exact same story. Nothing would change.
Did I hear correctly that they want to do an Attack on Titan movie? But,
it's way into
the Japanese are doing it. They won't let the Americans touch it.
The guy was putting judgment. It was like, no, you'll only screw it up. We'll just go away with your millions of dollars. We'll do it ourselves.
You'll only screw it up. Come on. The world is still reeling from M. Night Shyamalan trying to do Avatar.
Speaking of which, there is actually a Death Note, a Hollywood Death Note in pre-production.
Did I hear correctly? I heard this rumor years ago that apparently Zac Efron was going to be cast as Light.
You hear tons of casting rumors like that.
Yeah.
You can't take any of them to the bank.
I was waiting for you to say L, and then I was about to burst out laughing. I was like taking breaths ready just in case I became. It got
the rage building.
We could talk for hours about who to cast for Death Note, honestly.
My friend, you've met Brian before, haven't you, Tim?
Brian.
The Brummy.
Ginger one?
No, blonde guy. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Point is, I was talking about. We were talking about like maybe because you've seen Death Note, you've seen bits of Titan, you've seen Bebop as well, We talk about movie castings every so often. It's like, do you know who I think would be a great Spike Spiegel? I was like, who? I said, the guy who played Neo in The Matrix.
Everyone says Keanu Reeves.
I was like, what, Keanu Reeves? Yeah, I think he'd be great. Okay, then. So then the other conversation died off for a while. And then we were talking about Death Note, and I mentioned that Zac Efron might be getting cast as Light, and he went, "So I think it'd make a good L." And I went, "Who?" He went, "The guy who played Neo in The Matrix." I was like, "What? Is he your go-to actor for everybody?"
I think
this guy hit his head.
There was a talk a while ago. I did hear rumours quite a while ago about Hollywood thinking of doing Cowboy Bebop and casting. The only name that was ever mentioned for Spike was Keanu Reeves. Because
he would do it.
Can you imagine? Oh my god! I've just thought of the funniest casting choice ever.
Go on.
If they do a Hollywood Death Note,
okay.
L.
Okay.
Nicolas Cage.
That would work.
Oh wait, no.
Fund it right now.
Nicolas Cage as Light.
As an 18-year-old mastermind, this 50-year-old Nicolas Cage. No, honestly,
fund it.
The two I would probably say would be L as Edward Norton and Light as Tom Hiddleston, or whoever plays Loki.
Yeah, Tom Higgledy-Piggledy.
Who's the guy who plays Cumberbatch? What's his first name?
He would be good as L.
He'd be a good L.
But they're all too old. That's the thing, is you'd need like someone that could pass as a teenager. And there's no good actors that could do that.
Could pass as a teenager. For fuck's sake, he's passed as a dragon. He's Smaug.
Make him wear a green screen mask.
Well, that's the thing. Do you know, for most of Smaug's movements was actually Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, I've seen the gifs of him, like basically just creeping hard on Martin Freeman, just like getting really close to his face doing the mocap.
Do you know who would make I can't even remember his name. Do you know who would make a fantastic L?
If you don't even know,
Light Light would be a lot better.
Go on.
The guy that does the voice for Booker DeWitt in BioShock Infinite.
Oh yeah, no, he's good.
Troy Baker.
Yeah.
Troy Baker, what do I know?
He's actually a really good actor as well.
He's the guy that did the voice for the Joker in the newer version of the Batman Arkham Origins, and it's the main character.
Joel,
the playable character from Last of Us.
And he did the main character from Mordor as well.
Did he?
Yeah, main character from Mordor. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
There's the skull. There's the hyper skull.
I've quite literally just finished that game. Like, quite literally, I was so excited to fight the final boss, and then it was like, for fuck's sake, it's a fucking quick time event, you bastard. Seriously, I'm getting myself all geared up for this big fucking fight against Sauron's Black Hand, and then it's just like, oh no, quick, tap X, oh my god, quick, move this into this place. Did you know
the Black Hand? The Black Hand of Sauron was played by Nolan North.
No, I did not.
Who also does Madara, Butia.
What?
The Toby version, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Let's have a look. What has Troy Baker done? Oh my god, he's the voice of Pagan Min. He's going to be the bad guy in Far Cry 4.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I can't wait to play Far Cry.
All
right, let's reel back the tangents.
Yeah. Let's put back onto that anime stuff.
Seems we're talking about Fate Zero. Should we have a quick chat about Fate Stay Night? Because you had some questions, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, but I've forgotten now. I think my main concern was just like how much of a difference is it going to be from 2006? Because
I can answer that.
I remember from 2006, like the moment that I watched Fate Stay Night 2006 after I watched Fate Zero, which I'm glad I did watch it in that way. But so I didn't know a certain person was going to show up around about episode 17, 18. Somebody from Fate Zero, and I was just kind of like, I'm trying to avoid spoilers best I can. As soon as I heard his voice, I was like, oh my fucking god, it's him, he's back, where's he been this entire time? Yeah. And then in Fate Stay Night, he's in the OP, and I'm like, oh my god, they've ruined everything. That wasn't supposed to be the big reveal.
Is that the one who you and Cassie were talking about last time? And I just went, oh, is it insert name of person here? And the two of you just went, how the fuck did you guess that?
Yep, that was it. That was the person I was talking about. So, because I'd seen 2006, I know they both follow different routes in the visual novel. I was just kind of, I'm still sat here
Have you not seen the Blade Works movie?
No.
Okay, good, because that like ruins all the key points. It like condenses it way too much, and everything just feels super rushed.
Because I'm sat here watching it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's so good looking, and it's kind of interesting to the differences in the characters between this and 2006. But I'm still sat here waiting for something different to happen, something exciting to happen.
Well, I can tell you the exact point where the two storylines split. Although the 2006 actually merged a lot of Bladeworks and Heaven's Feel into the Fate route.
Now, Heaven's Feel is something I was kind of interested in because, like,
I don't know much about that route, to be honest.
I was just browsing through 4chan when they announced that Fate Stay Night 2014 was going to be made. They were saying, like, oh, well, what route is it going to take in a visual novel? And everyone was saying, Heaven's Feel, Heaven's Feel, Heaven's Feel. It's got to be Heaven's Feel because that's the best route. So now apparently they're going to make this show now is based off the Unlimited Bladeworks route.
Yeah.
But they're going to make a movie based off of
that. Makes more sense
because
route. Heaven's Feel is way darker, way darker. From what I've heard, like I haven't played through. I played through Bladeworks and I played through Fate, but I haven't played through Heaven's Feel. That's the order it goes in. It goes Fate, Bladeworks, Heaven's Feel. That you unlock the routes. But from what I've heard, it is the darkest route by a long way, and I think that's the reason why a lot of people prefer it. But Bladeworks is supposed to be the most action-heavy route, which makes sense for Ufotable to make it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But to put all of the time in for the action scenes.
To just throw money at it. That's...
Yeah.
Well, now that you've said that, I'm really happy about that because even if there is no big shock or big reveal or what have you, at least it's gonna look good.
Huge reveal, and I'm not going to say anything about it because it's so cool. And I had it ruined because I looked it up on Wiki.
Nice.
And honestly, I think you're gonna love it. But the exact split between the Fate route and the Unlimited Bladeworks route is a choice that unlocks as. So you know at the end of episode 2 where Saber's charging down Archer?
Yeah.
Basically, the choice there is first Shinji. What's his name?
Shinji
Shiro,
yeah.
Shiro.
For him to say stop. And if he doesn't, that's the Fate route. He chops like Archer's arm off or something, like digs it into his shoulder, and Archer's out of commission for like basically the entire thing until he fights Berserker. And eats shit.
Wow.
Eats shit and dies halfway through the Fate route. But in the Unlimited Bladeworks route, Shiro spots Rin and uses the command seal to say stop. And so Archer's like way more active in this route. Archer's more or less like one of the main characters. Where in the Fate route he was a minor character.
I really like Archer. I think he's a pretty cool character. So I'm glad he's going to be getting more screen time.
He's a very, very interesting character.
And I happen to know what his noble phantasm's called, so I'm going to assume this route has a lot to do with his noble phantasm.
Yes, well, the route's named after his noble.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
That gives me some hope anyway, because like for all the shows I'm watching, Mum laughing her head off, no care in the world. Shut up. Yeah. So for all the shows I'm watching right now, they've all just been really disappointing. I was expecting a lot more.
Really?
Yeah, I would
That's
say
interesting.
So.
Okay, so go on. Say what you're watching, what you're disappointed in. Because I've got the exact counterpoint. Exact opposite opinion.
Fate Stay Night has not been as exciting as I expected it to be up to now. That's not a big deal. I'm not too bothered about that because from what you've said, then it does sound like it's going to get interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Log Horizon 2 has been all about Akatsuki moaning and crying and bitching. It's like, oh, I'm not good enough and I'm jealous of a fucking 10-year-old. That's really fucking annoying.
Yeah, then you've got the guy who they kicked the crap out of at the beginning of season 1 going, I will get you, Shiro!
Oh, but we haven't heard from him in about 3 episodes, so...
I haven't watched anything in like 3 episodes.
Wait another week because next week's going to be hopefully when it starts getting good again, when the action starts kicking back in. Terraformers has just been fucking batshit insane. I really don't like it.
I dropped that so hard. I think I dropped that around the time Adolf joined the cast.
What?
There is a German scientist called Adolf, and I laughed my ass off all the way to the close window button.
Okay, as soon as that would happen, I would quite literally just go, nope, exit stage left.
And there's a girl in it called Ava as well, which is really weird, and he was operating on her in some way. Yeah, one thing I really don't get about Terraformers is there's a girl who dies in it, and we know pretty much next to nothing about it other than she knows these two people. And then it's after they died, it's kind of like the writers went, oh shit, people might not care about it because they know fuck all about it. I know, I've got it, flashback episode, and everyone else was like, yeah, great idea, and
by everyone else, I
boring.
think you mean the voices inside the writer's head.
Yeah. And that flashback episode was just unbelievably boring. So, and then the powers are revealed, and it's just everyone's combined with an animal, and it's just so fucking stupid. I don't like it. And the other show I'm watching is Shigatsu wa Kimi no Uso, but I'm actually really enjoying that.
What's that?
Shigatsu wa Kimi no Uso.
I know them all. It's just I'm not picking the name up.
Your Lie in April is the English.
Oh,
title,
that's so good. I was telling the guys about that last week. Basically, the thing is it's so hard to describe to people and make it sound good because it's like you say, oh, it's a middle school romance where they play classical music. That sounds like the shittest show on the planet, but it's fucking incredible.
It is. It is probably the best looking show that's airing right now, apart from Fate Stay Night.
Yeah. You want to know what the shittest show that's airing right now at the minute is? Bonjour, sweet love pâtisserie.
Oh yeah.
What the hell is that?
That was the one.
Like
Remember the last time that I was on and me and Kirsty were talking about the show that we were watching where essentially whilst making sweets these guys had like Sailor Moon style magical girl transformations.
Yeah, right, okay, yeah, you have told me about this.
Yeah, it's that one.
Have you guys seen the artwork for the new magical girl show where they turn into like buff dudes and they beat people up? They don't have any powers, they just beat people up.
Oh my god, I fucking love that.
What's it called?
I don't know what it's called. I've just seen like the promotional artwork. Basically, it's like 10-year-old girls transform into these like ripped dudes wearing the magical girl clothes. So like basically their crotch and their nipples are the only thing covered up by these magical girl clothes. And then they beat people to death in the most violent way possible with their magical sticks.
As soon as the podcast is over, you need to find out what it's called and let me know because I am totally
I have
on board.
No idea what the name is.
That totally reminds me of there's a point in High School DxD when he's basically got to go and make a contract with this who he thinks is a girl, and he turns up and there's this really big buff fella, and in the English dub it is hilarious because he turns up at the door and he's like, "Hi, I'm here to make a contract with you." And there's just this big buff guy standing at the door dressed like a magical girl going, "Hey, sweetie. How about you come inside and I help you out?" Yeah. I'm just like, oh my good god.
Wait.
Jesus.
It sounds like are you talking about or is this a zombie?
No, it's not clear about zombie Deska.
Yeah, because like he's weird.
That's a funny one. Essentially, it's a zombie that steals the magical girl powers off a little magical girl by accident.
Yeah, he's wearing a dress.
But her magical girl weapon is a chainsaw.
I heard about that one.
Wait. Chainsaws, magical girls, and zombies. That sounds like plagiarism.
No. Honest to God, first 3 episodes is all the plot you need for the entire 2 series. They just go, oh yeah, let's have all of this plot. Yeah, but wait, what do we need to do for another 24 episodes? Filler for you, filler for you, filler for you.
Everybody gets a filler.
Wow, so Dave, you're like watching all the shittest shows that's airing this season, more or less.
It would seem like it, yeah.
Like, because the thing is
there is another show I've been meaning. I watched the first episode, but I haven't gotten around to watching it yet, and that's Shingeki no Bahamut.
That's pretty cool.
I will get around to watching that.
That's a really solid show. It's nowhere near the best in this season.
I remember watching the first episode and just being blown away by the animation. Brilliant.
If you want a nice little comedy, I really suggest watching Denki Guy.
Oh, Denki Guy's fun. Have you seen I Can't Understand What My Husband's Saying?
Do you know what? I watched like the first 3 episodes and just did not like it.
Oh my god, that might be one of my top 5 favorite anime of all time. It's so on my level.
Wow, okay, that's a big show.
But that's just purely because it's on my level, like so completely. Like the jokes and everything just make me laugh so much.
The one thing I do love about it is the fact that his younger brother keeps trying to bum him.
Yeah, but there's this one character that's introduced himself. He's like this leader of a chat group online, and he introduces himself as Destined Fucker.
That's the last one
in English.
I watched.
Like in English, his name is Destiny Fucker.
My name is Destiny Fucker.
He thinks the main character's little brother is a girl, and the main character's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get back at you right now." introduces him as a girl and lets the two of them go off to a love hotel. There is one that me and Kirsty started watching called, was it Orenchi no Furo Gio? It's essentially a hot mermaid boy living in a guy's bathtub.
Oh, right, so that's the one that Valk's been watching. Oh my god. Alright, so she was really looking forward to watching this because she thought this will be my Bakamatsu Rock this season. A show where I can get drunk every week on the day it comes out, get slaughtered, and then watch it and laugh my ass off.
Watch Mermaid Boy Love.
Her face, I was on Skype when I watched their heart break. It was like it was in slow motion when she found out that the episodes were only 4 minutes long each.
Yeah.
And she was so devastated.
That's what I'm hating about the current trend. I've noticed it over the last couple of seasons, the way that more of these little tiny ones have started appearing. It's really started.
I'm okay with it if they like keep the quality to a really high level. And you get the impression that they might dilute it if they stretched it out. When
they first started it, though, it was like the Flash animated ones, though.
Yeah.
That's what really annoyed me to begin with, and there's still a couple of them knocking about.
I'd try not to really go near any of those shows because, I don't know,
you can just gobble them up so quick, though. That's the thing.
The metaphor I was going to use there, or the simile or whatever, is there's not enough there to get my teeth sunk into.
Wow.
I don't know. Just knowing that it's only 4 minutes long, it's like, why bother?
I know, you can just knock them out so quick, though.
That's what she said.
You were quick on that one, I'll give you that much.
Wow, did you come up with that? That's so funny.
Oh, somebody give me some ice for that, Ben.
No, man, okay, so I'm just going to throw names at you that's, probably a lot of people's, anime of the year. It's, a Maggie Brilliant Park, Denki Guy, Grisaya. Parasite is so good, man.
I watched the first episode of Parasite, and I've got to say, I am not interested in the slightest in watching this man whose magical hand go on adventures.
It turns into a dick, though.
And that's why.
Wait, do you mean an actual one or personality-wise?
No, an actual dick. It apparently in the manga, it's just I saw this in a book. Is this appropriate for this situation? It turns into a giant throbbing boner. But in the anime, it's in episode 2. It's just implied.
It's the problem.
And it starts trying to wank him off as well. It's you seem. I can't remember exactly what goes out, but it's you seem tense. This might help. And it starts trying to wank him off in public.
Do you know what one I actually found that I really liked? When supernatural battles become commonplace.
Oh, that's great. That's so great. That's another one.
The fact that the little tiny cute moe girl essentially becomes God.
Yeah, that's so. Yeah, do you know this show, Dave?
No, Parasites or
Supernatural Battles.
No, I haven't seen it. I've heard of it. I've heard it's pretty funny, but
it's Trigger's second go. It's their follow up to Kill la Kill, right? And it's the same kind of humor, but it's standard animation.
I should mention at this point, I don't like over the top stuff whatsoever. So this is where I get a lot of criticism from.
It's more typical.
Yeah, it's basically slice of life.
I hated Gurren Lagann, and I didn't like Kill la Kill for what I watched.
Let me tell you the gimmick though, because the gimmick is fucking brilliant. You know Chinibyo, yeah?
No.
Okay, do you know the concept? Do you know the concept of what Chinibyo means? A kid that lives in his own fantasy world in his head.
Yeah. I'm
all right. Okay. It's based off the concept. So the main character has got this thing called Chinibyo, where he's just fucking proud that's going on all the time about his power levels and stuff, to all of his friends, and he's thinks everyone's wizards and shit. So basically, he's like that, and then this thing happens where they all get superpowers, and then his delusions actually turn out to be fucking spot on all the time.
Yeah. It's hilarious. The funny thing is, though, his power is the worst out of them all.
Yeah.
You can quite literally just summon a little purple flame into his hand.
Everyone else in the group has literally got god tier OP powers, and he has this completely fucking useless one.
Yeah, there's one girl.
Okay, if you were a smoker.
There's one girl that.
No, because it doesn't burn hot; it's warm.
Yeah.
Can't even burn stuff with it.
There's one girl. There's one girl who's sort of the typical sort of Sundia kind of type. Yeah, and she can stop time. Then you've got the typical, stereotypical Japanese beauty that can touch anything and return it to its original state.
And then one that has complete control over all 4 elements.
Yeah, then you've got the sort of like ditzy, clumsy, moe-ish kind of girl who's got control over all 4 elements, and then you have the little tiny cute elementary school girl that can essentially create her own reality.
Haruhi.
Yeah, basically Haruhi.
Haruhi, but the powers are actually full on like.
Yeah, it's complete control over them.
Like she just decides to teleport wherever the hell she wants, just because she feels like it.
Yeah.
It's like, what would happen if you give a toddler the powers of God?
Basically.
I'm not quite sure if I want to check that out. There was one show.
I don't know. Maybe it depends if the comedy's on your level. Like there's one scene where this girl walks into the classroom to tell them to like shut the fuck up. They're being too noisy. And the main character's just like, oh my god, I knew it. You've been spying on us. You're actually an evil enemy wizard. And like, so he's basically just bullshitting.
Spot on as well.
He's bullshitting, and then
she just goes,
"How the fuck did you know?"
I think it's like later on in that episode as well. Was it the next episode? She gets a love letter and she thinks it's off him, and she's just like, "Oh, darling." But he actually gives her power a nickname, and then basically that's what the letter is. She completely misunderstood the entire letter. Because she stole his power and then gave it back to him, and he's just like, "Oh, you're a great thief," and she misread it as "great lover," and she's like, "Oh my god, it's a love letter." Yes, I have always loved you. Yeah,
it's grateful robber. She misreads it as grateful lover.
And from that point on, she actually changes her email address to grateful robber.
I don't know. That might sound like maybe I might pick it up when it's
finished.
Give it.
All you need to do is just watch one episode, because it's like everything you need to know about that show is in the first episode.
The other show you mentioned, Gary Saya, is that how you pronounce it?
Grisaya, yeah.
Grisaya. That's something I am considering picking up pretty soon.
So fucking funny, dude.
It's
got really on the level Western humor in it. Like
that I might be on board with.
Like, because okay, so I'm not going to spoil all the jokes, but there's one joke, where like. Most main characters, when they see a naked girl, just lose their shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he walks into his room, there's a naked girl right there, and he goes, it's not my birthday, why is there a strip in my room?
You know what?
That kind of humor I can
get. And then he just sits down and starts doing his homework or something. He doesn't even give a fuck.
That would totally remind me of the main character from Kaicho wa Maid Sama.
Yeah, kinda, yeah.
Just the main character would just be like, "Oh, hi. I'm gonna go on my way now."
And away I go. I forgot what I was going to say then. Yeah, just I suppose coming towards the end of the show now, we could just talk about what we've been watching this week.
I've been watching Magica.
All right, so go on, tell us about that then. Is it Maggie or Maggie?
I pronounce it Maggie, but it's actually Maggie.
Maggie, right?
Not Major.
No, it's actually in the Japanese and English they both pronounce it as Maggie.
Yeah, but the word itself is Magi, like the Arabian Magi, right? And it's based in Arabia and off Arabian
It's essentially Arabian.
Arabia.
The main characters are Alibaba and Aladdin.
Yeah.
And then the likes of Sinbad and Jafar come into it, and there's an Eastern Empire and this, that, and the other. And basically, it's about world domination, essentially.
This is a weird show because when I hear people talking about it, the a complete opposite ends of the spectrum. Like, a lot of people hate it and a lot of people love it. I've not met anyone who's like in the middle with it.
I'm in the middle.
Oh, there we go. For everything.
For what it is, I absolutely love it. But for the amount of time they spend on story arcs is just stupid. Like,
so
the majority of the first season is spent in Alibaba's hometown. And they could have sped through it so quickly.
Yeah. But basically, it's like a 24 episode series that goes through its arcs as quickly as like Naruto does.
But the thing is, though, they missed out certain sections from the manga. Like, Kirsty got the first manga when we went to a convention a couple of months ago, and there's a little chapter. There's a little bit right at the very beginning with Aladdin on his own before he meets Alibaba, and he meets some characters. They get brought in later on in the series. Like, just before Aladdin gets to Alibaba's hometown. And they suddenly mention, "Oh, yeah, we know Aladdin." And the character that's with them's like, "Oh." And, like, from reading the book, I know exactly what's happened. I know exactly why it's funny. And, like, Kirsty, who hadn't read it, was just like, "Well, why is it funny?" So I had to pause the video, get the manga out, show her, like, "Oh, yeah, look, this is the reason, because, like, Aladdin's obsessed with massive boobs and this, that, and the other. And this happened, and blah, 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 blah.
So, Tim, do you want to give us the 3 R's on that one? To the new guys who don't know, the 3 R's are basically you've got to give it a rating out of 10. Would you recommend it, and would you rewatch it? Does the show that you're talking about have that rewatch factor to it? So, Tim, give us the 3 R's on Maggie Magi.
8 out of 10.
Wow, that's a really good score.
I do really like it's mostly a shonen thing, but I do really like it. Like, it's got like a little bit of suspense, a little bit of magical stuff. It's just quite. It's to be honest, the thing I like about it so much is there's not that much angstiness. Other than Alibaba, there's practically no angst. It's quite cute in parts. There's quite a lot of like the typical sort of humor style thing where like one of the main characters will become slightly like deformed and even more cartoony when he's trying to do something cute or pervy. As far as rewatch, definitely, because I've watched the first season in both English and Japanese and think voice acting on both parts are spot on.
So, would you recommend it, and if so, who would you recommend it to?
Yes, I would recommend it, and anyone who likes shonen, definitely, and anyone who just wants a little bit of something different. Like, instead of just the usual stereotypical, oh, this guy gets a power, oh, look at that, he finds other people that like powers. It's more like, this guy's had to work his bollocks off and get into a dungeon with this very specific person to get this power. Oh, look, here's a guy just the same who's going around handing it out to everybody because he wants to start a war. That's a dick. It's essentially the point, and then obviously the thing is, there's only supposed to be 3 Maggie at any given point, and Aladdin's the 4th. So this one character just completely loses his shit, and he's just like, "What the actual fuck? That's it. I'm gonna start a war with you. I'm gonna punch you in the face. Die."
So Tom, your thoughts, comments, and feelings on Maggie, and then give it the 3 R's for us.
I haven't actually finished it. So,
you haven't?
Yeah, but I've watched up to... What's the pink-haired girl? Is it Morgan or Morgana? What's her name?
But they call her Mog.
Okay,
Mog.
yeah. The point where they get to like Sinbad's like pleasure palace and she's doing that dance.
Oh,
how far into that?
I've seen
that's the beginning of season 2.
Right. Oh, I didn't even realize this was season 2. I thought it was like 18 out of 24 or something.
No. It's 2 24-episode series, and they actually go by different names.
Yeah, I know.
Like the Sacred Labyrinth or something like that.
Yeah. That's the first season.
That's right.
The name because they start this big massive fucking war with some group of bad guys that are all wanting to. Oh, let's destroy the world. Yeah, that's gonna be a fun thing because like fate's pointless. Let's just like completely fuck up the world. Yeah.
So
you're really not painting a pretty picture for the show. I've got to be honest with you.
No, that's the bad guys.
I don't know. The main character is just not really that likable overall. Alibaba, and his sidekick's like this little tiny kid as well. It's just, I think there's a lot of factors of the show that would just make people just go completely nope. Like there's some hard nopes in there for a lot of people. There's not too much action in it. Like the stuff with that Mog character is really good, but she's got like 3 major fights.
Yeah, there's like one of her major fights is like, oh my god, if these tigers even scratch me, you're dead. Face. That's it. I'm gonna kick these tigers in the motherfucking face.
She's kind of like Yoda. She's like this tiny little girl, but she's like when she kicks a tiger in the face, all of its teeth exit out the other side.
The thing is, she gets like actual proper powers and more character development in season 2, and she's
a great character. She's a really good character. She's like a former slave, basically, that's learning to retake her her own free will.
Before like season 1 wise, she's fantastic. She's like one of these cold, emotionless characters that occasionally comes out with bouts of emotion, and you're like, where the fuck did that come from? And then season 2 wise, when she gets her powers and you discover she's got very little magic, but she can still kick ass, and she practically kicks the shit out of a djinn.
Sure.
Just because he's being a dick to them.
But it kind of like flicks between having these really dark, poignant moments and these extremely light-hearted, nonsensical moments. I don't know. It's got
because that's kind of how I'm feeling with Golden Time, but I'll get onto that in a minute.
Oh yeah, let's please get onto that. But it's okay. It's not bad, but it's slow, and there's a lot of stuff people wouldn't like in it. But at the same time, it's a very different type of show. Like, I'm not even sure shonen is exactly the right word, but it's got lots of elements of shonen in there, and it's got a really cool setting. The Arabian Nights setting is excellent.
Yeah, I think shonen's the closest character, like, out of all the stereotypical sort of casts that you can stick anime in. I think it's the closest one, mostly because of all just like, the action.
You fit in like you're hammering like a square peg into your circle hole in your kid's playset there. You know what I mean?
Hey,
if you hit it hard enough, it'll go in. But there's a lot of
there's a specific type of peg you can get which can fit into both square, circle, and triangle.
I know. I saw that. That's awesome.
You put that in a play school and kids' heads will blow up.
All right, so Tom, do you want to give it the 3 hours for us?
I'll give it a tentative 3 hours. I'd give it 6 out of 5. I would recommend it to a certain type of person after asking them what they're into. And I didn't even finish watching it the first time, so I'm not going to rewatch it. Like, I put it down with no intention to pick it back up again.
All right, then. So we want to just touch on Golden Time very quickly, I believe.
Sure.
Because I started watching it. A note to anybody who wants to watch Golden Time: don't do it at 5:30 in the morning when you have people in the house, because you will wake them up with laughter. If you don't believe me, ask me mum. Started watching Golden Time, and
what the
what?
Are you watching the link I sent?
Yes.
Oh. Should we quickly talk about this show?
Go on. We'll put Golden Time off for a second. Go on.
Yeah. Sorry to derail you off your planned topic.
No,
I sent Tim a link because we're talking about shonen, and there's a new shonen airing right now by A1, who do Fairy Tail, called Nanatsu no Taizai, or 7 Deadly Sins. You guys heard of it?
Nope.
Okay, I'll quickly run through what it is. Basically, that's episode 2, Tim. Like, it starts off with the most OP characters and a really old art style, like an old Dragon Ball Z looking art style. It's like shonen in a really compact form. Like, you know how a lot of shonens drag on for like hundreds of episodes? I think this series is only going to be a 12 episodes thing, and it's just really compact.
What the fuck?
Did you like that, Tim? What would you be interested?
I just loved the bit of, and I've caught it now, catch, and the guy's just like, oops, you missed. Just sitting there so suave and calm in his throne as this big fucking electrical spear's just narrowly missed his head because he moved it 1 centimeter to the left.
So the scene I linked, a dude in his castle, like several miles away, figures, oh, I'm gonna throw a fucking like nuclear bomb of a spear at this town. So he lobs it all the way all these miles to this town. The main character senses it, catches it, like skids all through the town, like slowing it down, then just spins around and just like whoop, throws it all the way back to him, and it smacks into his castle, destroys his castle, and he's just there going, oh yeah, I remember this strength, as it's like embedded in his throne next to his face.
The throne's covered in blood and he's just about narrowly moved his head out the way.
So it starts off like in the last season of Dragon Ball Z, basically. Like, these characters are super OP, and I don't know, I don't think I'm going to keep watching it, but it's just like something I think people that really like shonen would be very interested in, if you don't have a lot of time.
That sounds like something I might enjoy, actually.
Yeah, the link's in the Skype chat if you just want to have a peek.
I will definitely check that out after we're done here.
Yeah. The soundtrack is by Hayuki Sarashiro, is that the right name?
Oh, Sawano! Oh, that guy's so good.
Yeah, I can't get the name right, I'm sorry. But yeah, it's the Attack on Titan Aldno's Zero soundtrack.
It took me a while to pronounce the second name. It was just like,
I can't get his name, I don't know why I can't remember it. It just doesn't stick.
Hiroyuki Sawano, I think it is.
Something like that, yeah. I just can't get it to stick. That, yeah. I'm usually pretty good with Japanese names once I've learnt them, but that one, it just does not stay. Anyway. Yeah, I thought you were going to be gone a bit longer, so I just wanted to chat to Tim.
Oh, wow, that was quick. Right up and down the stairs.
Yeah, alright, okay, do you want to go back on the Golden Time?
Yeah, first of all, I just want to say I really wish I lived in a house with a bathroom upstairs like normal people, but...
Is your bathroom outside?
No, my bathroom's downstairs.
Oh, okay.
I live in a rough area of Liverpool, but it's not quite that bad.
Right, yeah, sure.
Yeah, Golden Time, as I said then, don't watch it at 5:30 in the morning with people in the house, because you will wake people up with your laughter. This show is just, it's got such a really, really nice mix of really sweet and tender moments, dark and dull moments, and comedic moments, and I'm not quite sure if it's to anybody else if that might match up or mash up nicely to them, but
I think that's exactly my opinion.
I think it works so perfectly for me.
Yeah,
I'm totally in love with the show. Romantic comedies, it turned out to be my thing, really. Like, but this is what I was thinking.
Well,
and
it's genuine romantic comedy. It has all of the ups and downs of an actual relationship.
Oh yeah, I think the fact that it's set in a college rather than a high school.
Yeah, and it actually reminds me of uni as well. Like it's not like high school where I can't relate to Japanese high school shows whatsoever. Not even in the slightest regard can I relate. But that's probably because British school is so weird. If anyone's watched The In-Betweeners, it's very similar to that. Which is like the furthest possible thing from Japanese high school.
Oh god, tell me about it.
But the uni that felt like my uni experience. I don't know. Did you guys go to?
No.
Okay.
Tim, you did, didn't you?
Nope. I went to a course to try and get into university and just couldn't be bothered with it.
Fair enough. But
KSD went to university though.
Does genuinely feel like it. I dropped out after my first year, but I have fond memories, and that it reminds me a lot of uni, which is cool.
I pretty much.
I don't know though, man. It definitely just does just go to show how different Japanese men compared to English men, because that episode when they were at Golden Time and when they were out with the film club, and then fucking Tanda gets dragged into the tea party group, and any man who was in that situation who's English would be like, yeah, fuck it, come on, let's go, let's party, let's fucking go. But this guy's like, no, I don't really want to be here right now. No, thanks, I don't want to be here, I don't drink. It's like, well, strip. What? Strip. Rip his t-shirts off and put a sumo, what would you call those things, the things that sumo wrestlers wear?
Oh, a nappy.
A nappy, yeah, we'll call it a nappy. Put the nappy on and like, you two start wrestling. They start wrestling, I'm in stitches, like, I'm trying so hard to stifle the laughter. And then the dude with glasses just goes, oh god, I hate 3D women. I am so done with 3D women. It's like, 2D-kun. And I'm like, fucking just so unbelievably funny. But I think the tender moments, when it does pull a 180 and we do go to the tender and the dark moments, every element of the show is just working for me. And it's a really good looking show as well. It's really nicely animated. And the only thing I've kind of got to say, and I'm hoping you can put my fears to rest on this one, am I right in thinking it's going a little bit too quick?
Do you mean in terms of the pace of the plot?
Yeah, because we very quickly go from, because I thought they would drag out what was going on between Coco. Is it Coco?
Coco's the main character.
Yeah, Coco and
Banri.
Not Banri. The
Linda?
blonde, the black-haired dude who.
Yana. Yeah.
Yana. Yeah. I thought they might have dragged out that a little bit longer, but that was kind of resolved in about like 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of like the. I get you, but that's based off your expectations, isn't it?
Yeah, it is totally. And then of course,
because you expect a romance, an anime romance, to drag you over the fucking coals, waiting for the romance to get started.
Especially
like basically
because,
test your patience to the limit, like Toradora does.
That's exactly what I was going to say, because every time I've gone to watch Golden Time, or I might have seen a discussion somewhere online about Golden Time, there's people in there comparing it to Toradora.
Well, do you know why it's compared to Toradora? Specifically Toradora.
Now that I'm watching it, I don't know.
Because it's the same author.
Yeah.
It's the same author.
It's the same author, yeah. She wrote both. Wow,
she's doing a much better job second time around with Golden Time then. I have to say. It's because it's all happening so quick. I'm like, oh wow, this is like typical teenage awkward romance confessing bullshit that I'm used to. And I'm happy it's not going that way. I really am, but especially when I don't want to spoil what happens between Tanda and Coco. But then that thing happens, and now his former self is coming back to haunt him a little bit more. The best way to put it without spoiling it. Episode 11 or 10.
Right. It wraps everything. It starts off basically. I don't know. I didn't think pace was a problem with that show.
What the bloody hell am I even watching?
What are you watching?
I found more clips of that show you sent me.
Have you seen the giant pig yet?
The giant pig, but then there's the giant girl in like an orange rubber swimsuit.
Yeah.
Then there's the fight between him and that spear guy, and I'm just like, what the bloody hell?
Yeah.
If Tim's enjoying it this much, I think I'm going to enjoy it at least a little bit then.
Definitely watch that clip. That clip that clip is such a perfect summary of what that show is.
Oh my god! No,
I will do.
Actually, you know what? I've just thought of a series I definitely need to go back and rewatch.
Yeah, go on. Are we done with Golden Time, or do you want me to?
I was just gonna give it. I don't like to rate shows I haven't finished, but what I will say is, if you check out my Mal account, it's been an 8 out of 10 since episode 1.
Sure.
I'm up to 11 now, and it hasn't changed that much.
Not really a spoiler. I'm just setting your expectations here. There's a good chance it's going to drop down a little bit before the end, and then go back up. It has a dip.
It has to at some point.
It has a dip. Yeah, it definitely has a dip in quality because they skip a book out. Like, it's based off 6 novels. They skip the 5th book out.
Oh.
Yeah, which explains quite a lot of like stuff that doesn't really get followed through. A lot of the plot lines and like in the final act don't really get wrapped up properly.
I can't think of a 24 episode show or 25 episode show somewhere in that region that started off in 8 out of 10 and hasn't had a dip. So I have been waiting for the dip to come, but
even Fate Zero.
No, actually no, you're right. Actually, yeah, Fate Zero was
Steins Gate.
It was like
ramps
9.5 out of 10.
Steins
Gate was consistently good as well, actually. Yeah.
Steins Gate, in my opinion, it hit a hard turn. Well, obviously that hard turning point halfway through the series, like flipped. Yeah. Took the show from like an 8 to a 10.
I've never rated anything 10 out of 10. Like, the only reason why Fate Zero missed out on a 10 out of 10 is just because I
love the argument. Like, people say, "Oh, I never get anything 10 out of 10." We'll give shit 9 out of 9 then, idiot. Like, if you're not going to use a number on your rating system, then just get rid of it.
I'm not saying a show can't get a 10. The only reason, like, Fate Zero gets a 9.5 for me. The only thing I didn't like about 10. Fate Zero was the Kiritsu, those 2 episodes towards the end about Kiritsugu. I wasn't crazy about those
the
episodes.
Flashbacks.
Yeah, the flashbacks
I
when
quite
he was
like
a kid.
Those.
I wasn't. If maybe if those shows weren't in there or were done better, I may have. What the hell is that?
Sorry.
Sounds like a microwave.
Okay, that's not me then.
It's you, man. Is that your fan?
That's my computer.
Hey, no, I'm just in shock and awe because I'm watching Kirsty play Destiny here, and she's just picked up a fucking legendary Engram.
Nice.
You know how fucking rare that is after the Krypton?
Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god!
Andrew, you are drowning us out here, man. What's going on here?
Do you live near an airport or something? In fact, is your computer in a fucking jet engine?
Did the fans just like start firing up?
His computer's a transformer, as far as I'm aware. any second now, it's about to become a giant death robot.
Oh no! Transform and fuck up this podcast.
There we go.
Okay, it's gone. Okay, Andrew, is that fake?
I'm just.
I guess.
We literally couldn't hit anyone else. Everyone else has got drowned out.
Now it's completely gone. It's completely gone. Alright, so just to wrap up my final thoughts on what I was saying about Fate Zero, it would have been a 10 if those episodes were a little more interesting, but that's neither here or there. Golden Time, again, expecting a dip, but
yeah,
it's
really solid.
I thought it might happen at some point. I can't wait to see how this romance is gonna play out in the end, because that's gonna be really interesting. So if you're in for romantic comedies, I'm absolutely recommending this to you. It's probably been my favorite romantic comedy to date up to now, and I won't say rewatch, but I will say I will finish it. So that's my final thoughts on Golden Time.
For sure. The thing is, it's more or less the only romantic comedy that actually is targeted for young adults to adults.
Yeah, we definitely need more of them.
We need more of everything targeted towards adults.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
The fact that.
Just a minute.
I'm gonna say
about Honey and Clover. I've not seen it yet. It's been.
I've heard about that. I didn't like it so much. Like the first episode.
It's been on mine to watch this for forever.
Yeah,
it's been on mine to watch forever as well.
The opening does not remind me of. Do you know that scene in Beetlejuice when the prawn cocktail grabs everyone by the face?
I've never seen Beetlejuice.
What?
I know.
There's a scene basically when they're all around the dinner table and the ghosts basically possess them and make them do "Dear lad, come and me want go home. Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana."
Yeah.
And at the very end of the scene, basically, there's like a shrimp cocktail on the table and it grabs everybody by the face and then throws them back into the chair. And the opening to Honey and Clover is just shit tons of food. And the very last thing, there's a prawn cocktail sitting there on the table and it suddenly goes, "Ah!" Comes up on the screen.
Amazing.
Tell us the 10 we'll watch.
No, but
Right,
just to make the point I was going to say, like it's got to be like 90% of anime set in modern times takes place in high school.
Yeah, there's far too much of it. Like, even if I hear now that a show is really good, like I have to think twice about it if it's set in high school.
Yeah, it's the thing is I can't not watch a show because it's set in high school, so I wouldn't watch anything. But when I hear a show is set in a modern times, like time setting, and it's not in high school, that immediately gets my attention.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Just because it's so fucking rare.
Even if it's just a small change, like it's not in high school, it's in college or university.
Yeah. Or like Servant X Service, which takes place in just like a fucking... It's like the Japanese Office, basically. Have you heard of that show? It's amazing, by the way.
That's been on my to watch list for a while.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Once again, I listened to the previous Yui's podcast, and I thought, all right, Golden Time. He's given a good enough review. I think I'm gonna go and watch it. Now you've mentioned Servant X Service.
It's so good. I love Servant X Service, man. And I
like to try and keep things balanced though. Like if I watch a romantic comedy, the next show I'm going to watch is probably going to have blood and guts in it if I can get my hands on it. So I've got an action show or something like a mystery horror or something like that to watch next time.
Oh, if you want like a mystery kind of one, you need to watch Dog and Scissors.
Dog and Scissors.
Oh, I started watching a bit of that. That show's fucking weird.
Yeah, it's the basic plotline that you find out from the first episode is this guy that's a bit of a loner is absolutely in love with this author. Like it's like they've released a book, and every single book is named after one of the 7 deadly sins. And the last book's going to be released, God knows when. And he protects this girl from being shot at this cafe. Turns out the girl's an author, the author, and he gets reborn into the body of a dog, and only that girl can hear his actual thoughts. So she adopts him, takes him back to her house, and she's just got this big, massive library of books. But every time he does something, any thoughts pervy or anything that pisses her off, she has this special set of scissors, and she keeps trying to kill him with them. But it usually ends up with him being tied up in some sort of bondage way, and she's cut like half of his tail off or something like that. But like her book produces like a proper loves being hurt, like she's a proper masochist, and she's just fucking hilarious.
It's all comedy. It's like even when he gets shot, it's not even that dark.
Yeah,
it's not a dark show at all.
Even the bits when like hunting down killers and stuff like that's quite funny.
Yeah. Because
like she's going off doing one thing, and then there's just this like murderer that's being followed by a little sausage dog. That's what he is. He's a little dash hound, and quite literally you've got like this, like his sister comes into it as well, thinking that she's found her brother as this dog, and he like to begin with he starts talking to her, and he thinks that she can understand because she's answering perfectly, and then she mentions something about a curry that she makes, and every time she makes a curry it's either too hot, too spicy, volatile in some way or another, like glowing bright fluorescent blue, and she keeps trying to force feed this dog curries, and he's like, no, she's trying to kill me. And
that is one of the craziest concepts I've ever heard of in my life.
It was so funny.
What?
It was out the same.
What kind of drugs have you got to be on to think of that?
It was out the same season. It was out the same season as Gatchaman Crowds.
Oh, I hate the Gatchaman Crowds.
Oh, I fucking loved it.
I hate that main character so much. He's just got one of those faces that says "punch me."
Wait, the man,
please, really hard.
The guy or the girl?
The girl. Ugh.
I know the girl.
The guy as well.
The girl reminded me of what's her name? Shiro from Blue Exorcist.
Never seen.
She's not Shiro. Shemi.
Yeah. I had that with you guys seen Terror and Resonance?
Oh yeah, thank you. No, sorry, yeah.
Is it 9? Which is the little shit with a fucking shit-eating grin all the time?
But the one that speaks English.
I don't know. Not the
You're
cool.
kidding.
Not the cool main character. Like the guy that jumps in the pool.
Oh, that's 12, I think.
Sure, 12. Yeah. That fucking. He's just got that shit-eating grin in the intro. It makes me want to fucking punch his teeth through the back of his neck.
That essentially reminds me of Rundle House Code from fucking Log Horizon. Oh, hello, Miss Isuzu.
Oh, God, I hate him so much.
You know
he's got one of those grins as well. You just think, if I could fucking punch you, I would.
Yeah, like the Bleach character as well. It's always smiling.
Oh, Niwatori?
I don't know. Aizen's second.
Oh, Ginichimaro is fucking fantastic.
He's a great character. He just has that grin.
Do not diss my waifu.
Gentlemen, how fucking rude am I? I forgot to ask you your induction questions into the Anime Abroad podcast. Number 1, who is your waifu? Number 2, what is your fetish?
Shit. Andrew, you go first.
Let me put it this way. My answers were... what's her name? The one that
you don't even know the name of your own waifu.
No. We were talking about it yesterday, and I completely blanked my mind. The pink-haired one from Mirai Nikki. Yeah, Gasai, you know.
Wow. Oh, I didn't realize you were 12.
Yeah, no. you should meet my other half. She is a psychopath when she wants to be. And what did I say my fetish was? Was it basic bondage, or was it tentacle porn, or gender bender? And I know
just tell us who your waifus are. This fetish thing is getting weird.
Well, yeah. I mean, what were you going to expect?
Weird the first time.
So, Andrew, who is your waifu?
Well, you can see how my name is Yui, so Yui from K-On! And then my fetish is Moe.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess Moe is an acceptable fetish when you think about it, really.
At least it's not Shotokan or Lolly.
Yeah.
Damn Lolicon.
Waifu. But I don't even know. I don't really have that kind of, like, clinginess to characters. Like,
do you know, I don't see
there are shows where I want my favourite character to die because it would be so interesting if it happened.
Do you know what?
I've been there.
We need to get a program called the Wheel of Waifu. Just if somebody doesn't know, we just fill it full of random characters. Spin it.
I'll just answer with, because like that the waifu kind of relationship with characters and their like people in their waifu is like it's just like they're just so like fucking crazy about that character. Like if anyone says anything bad about it, they'll flip out. But I don't have that with anyone, so I'll just say my favorite.
When I say waifu, I just mean like a female character that I
yeah.
Cool.
I've got an answer for that though. It's Inaba from Coco Connect.
That's been on my to watch list as well.
She is the only. She is what makes that show like an 8 or 9 out of 10. Like everything else drags it down.
I'm gonna say everyone knows who mine is, but I'll say it again. Lara Bodevig from Infinite Stratos.
Oh.
She has just got that badass mech. She's German. She's got silver hair. Like,
I thought you said lolly was a bad fetish.
She's not a lolly. She's 16.
Yeah,
that's not the point of lolly though. That's not what lolly is.
Lolly is to do with the body type as well.
Exactly.
Like that's what
realistically, if you've played
Yui knows my Andrew knows my opinions on Infinite Stratos.
Like.
Do you know what? I think it's a pretty bad show, but it's my guilty pleasure. I just every time I watch it.
Sorry, Dave. The teacher from Strike the Blood is Lolly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Even though she's like 35, she's Lolly.
Yeah.
Well, Lara's not small.
She's probably like 5 foot.
There's that one scene when she's completely drugged off of her face and she comes into the hangar.
Who?
Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of a different character. Never mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You're talking about
series. I'm talking about Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, no, wait. Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket.
That's the anime we need. That is the anime we need. We need the Infinite Stratos characters in a fucking boot camp. And I'll tell you what, it ends with all of them committing suicide.
except Ishika, because he's too dense to know.
Yep. What's this? A jelly donut? Don't shout at me, senpai.
So my biggest problem with Infinite Stratos isn't that it's bad, because I can forgive a show for being bad. It's that it's lazy and it's fucking. It feels like it was written by a marketing team, just looking at all of the fucking perfect characters and the perfect setting. Just to make the most money.
Nobody calls Hoki perfect. Hoki is shit.
Sure, but you need a shit character for everyone to hate. Make all the other characters look good.
That's true, yeah. I suppose Hoki does work in a way then.
But seriously, it just feels so soulless and just devoid of anything that interesting whatsoever. And it's literally pick your. That entire show is just pick your favorite. Because nothing fucking happens in the storyline.
Oh, especially in season 2. Jesus Christ. Did you ever bother?
No, I watched all of season 1 and I watched the first episode of season 2 and I just said, oh, okay, they doubled down on everything I detest about this show. So I'm out.
I'll never forget that episode where Charlotte lost the panties because they kept it. Every time she put a new pair of panties on, they just kept disappearing. And
wow, riveting. What a mech show,
right?
That was Heaven's Lost Property.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Where she couldn't wear.
Yeah, there's like the second episode. The main character basically has an angel and can make wishes, and he basically sort of made a wish that every time she put on panties, they'd basically gain sentience. have you ever seen the anime ending where it's essentially a flock of panties flying across a mountainscape?
Nope.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
It's
Wow, what's the context for that, huh?
The English name is Heaven's Lost Property. It just came onto Netflix as well. It's fucking hilarious.
I kind of feel bad for y'all. Y'all don't get it, as soon as we do. We get like 3. Oh no, wait. I have the Heaven Lost Property almost for like 5 months.
Oh yeah, no, I've got a little program for Chrome called Ola, so I can go onto the American Netflix.
Yeah.
The amount of anime that you guys have compared to the British one is fucking ridiculous.
It's similar with Crunchyroll as well.
At this point of the show, I'd just like to point out that this podcast is indeed sponsored by HorribleSubs.com.
Yeah! I need a little keyboard jingle. HorribleSubs.com.
Oh, we totally need that.
Oh, shit, I think I know Horrible Subs.
It's basically for people who aren't patient enough to wait for it to be on Crunchyroll, to be on sale, or Netflix or what have you.
What was the show?
Or other fan-subbing groups.
Oh, I honestly don't think I can go into this if they genuinely sponsor you.
No, they don't. That's just a joke.
Oh, okay, thank God, because
we preach that people should go out and buy anime and, support the industry and the hobby that you love, but some of us use Horrible Subs sometimes.
Sure.
I'm not going to say who.
I think it was. I'm struggling to.
Cassie uses Horrible Subs.
I'm struggling to remember which show it was, but basically I had to stop watching it because there's still so many TL notes in it and there were just these snarky, dumbass comments all the fucking time.
Horrible Subs don't use translators' notes.
Okay, it might not have been Horrible Subs then, but yeah, those TL notes all the fucking time with these snarky comments about the anime.
You know what? That reminds me of one that basically when Attack on Titan was first coming out, it was before we actually subscribed to
Was it the one that used
so
Google Translate?
I don't know, but there was one episode that Kirsty watched because I was waiting for it to come out on Crunchyroll the week later, and there was so many bad translations for what Levi was saying. And then
it was. Yeah, go on, finish.
They were basically talking somebody was talking to Levi instead of saying the way they always say Taicho, and it comes up with Captain. It was coming up with some sort of weird ass fucking words for it, and then she watched it a week later with me, and she's like, "Oh, so that's what they were saying."
Yeah, so I don't know if you were watching the same thing I saw, but basically it was the week it came out.
It was look at these big ass trees.
That was actually a line. I'm sure we actually said that in the translation.
Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
I don't think that's what I saw, but what I saw, and I actually checked it. It was literally Google Translate. I think someone lost a bet on Attack on Titan sub-team. Because someone's name came translated as the literal translation every single time in capital letters. The literal translation.
My friend, waterfall from the rice field.
Yeah, something like that. Exactly, every single time. And nothing made sense. Absolutely nothing made sense. It was all in the fucking broken English with these repeated phrases all the time, these really specific repeated phrases. I actually went and I checked and I Google translated some shit and it's the exact same stuff. I reckon someone lost a bet.
That sounds about right. Alright then, so we're running a lot longer than what we usually do.
I know, there's so much more stuff I want to talk about.
I know. Andrew, we can. I tell you what, Tom, do you want to come back on the podcast sometime? We can arrange that.
Next time,
guys.
I'm open to that.
We're gonna have to arrange it for a night where I do not have work the next day, so I can get pissed.
I'm up for a drunk episode.
We haven't had a good drunk episode in a while, and I haven't had a drunk episode whatsoever.
That's what you think. I'm drunk for most episodes, and I think everything's great.
Yeah, but just think about what I'll be like. I get giggly and then suddenly sleepy, so you're suddenly like...
It's like you're bipolar,
you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, keep an eye out for episode 13, because I'm going to try and make that happen for you. Right then, so before we wrap up, Andrew, you haven't really had a chance to have a little rant or a talk or a discussion about the show, so if you want to... What have you been watching this week? Let us know. Tell us.
Yeah, I've been watching The Psychopaths, the second season that came out. Well, I watched the dub. because like Tom was telling me about it, so I watched that. I watched the 2 episodes that are out. I don't know, like the opening for it, I don't like it as much as I did the first season. Like the second season opening, it's just like, what's this? I want to skip it.
I don't want to go off too much off on a tangent, but do you know the second OP for Psycho-Pass?
Like,
Nothing's carved in stone. Have you heard the McDonald's version of that before?
no. What?
Right, okay.
Is that a post-podcast link? Is that a PPL?
That is going to be a post-podcast link. Yeah. Just if anybody likes, if anybody else here likes anybody out there even likes the second OP for Psycho-Pass, just Google Psycho-Pass OP2. Nothing's carved in stone. McDonald's, and have a little listen to that. And it's all the people from the glorious people from 4chan sing it together, and it's the most glorious sounding choir of neckbeards I've ever heard in my life. Honestly, you've got to go listen to it. It's fantastic. But Psycho-Pass 2, I don't know if I want to watch it as it's coming out, because I kind of want to watch it all when it comes out.
It's only 12 episodes as well.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it is. And also, if you watch the first season, they have the director's cut, so you can watch all the cut scenes that they cut out. And
oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, if you watch the first season with the director's cut, it actually shows you of how season 2 comes about. So
yeah, I don't get why they've done a season 2, because like when Psycho-Pass wrapped up, I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm kind of interested to know what happened with Kogami, but I don't need to know that information. So it seemed kind of weird that there would be a second season.
It's kind of interesting because it's not progressing. From what I've seen, it's not so much about progressing the story. It's about establishing the institution. It's just more of them doing their job.
Yeah, and then
you know what I mean, Andrew?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that disagree about the system, even though Akane, well, she knows everything about it, but I don't get why she changed her mind, but whatever.
Well, I think at that point, if she stepped away from a job, she'd be in line for execution or assassination, basically.
Yeah, she knows too much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
She's just like, I guess I'll just do my job.
It's a nice pay. I get a nice.
She does still believe in the system, even if she has like a lot of doubts about how it's run. She does still believe in the idea.
Well,
it's interesting.
She believes that she can change it. That's why.
Still, but like, I think it's very interesting because the premise of Psycho-Pass is very vulgar to our like Western, our like modern sensibilities, Because for the most part, Western, I keep saying Western, but it's modern culture that's very against like surveillance states, like in 1984 and all that. But it's interesting that the main character is so like, she believes in the idea that I guess the audience isn't supposed to.
At the same time as well, if you took away that system in that universe, then wouldn't
that universe
goes to shit very quickly.
Yeah, that universe has become extremely dependent on that system, which is actually a really interesting way of looking at it as well.
So it's a big catch-22 on that one. So, Andrew, what do you think of the show so far? Like, if you could give it a rating, or would you recommend it so far? I mean, I don't know whether if I want to watch it week to week or just leave it until it's finished.
Far as from the 2 episodes that they have out, well, as far as in English, but as far as that, I would recommend watching it, because the second season is not like you have to. I mean, yeah, you do have to watch the first season to understand the second season, but you probably would get interest of watching the second season without even watching the first one. I mean, it's really good, so I would recommend. I would recommend someone else watching it even if they haven't even seen the first season. As far as what I would give it an 8. 8.5. Only because the opening wasn't as good, but the storyline didn't go a different direction from the first season, so that's why. I hate when animes that make the second season and it's like, you're not going to go off of the first season, you're just going to go to a different direction. So
I don't know, I think it's going to take a little bit more time for me to think over whether I want to watch it week to week. I mean,
I would say don't, honestly, because there's no like riveting through line on the story. it's not like edge of your seat kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's
That's
no
true, yeah.
there's no like urgency on that show whatsoever. It's fine, but like honestly the stakes are lower than the first season.
Yeah.
At least so far they are.
I had the same like feel you're having right now as when I was debating to watch season 2 of SAO. So I know how you feel.
Start with that series with me. I loved the first season so much, and the second one just bored the living shit out of me.
I hate all of it, so I am welcome. I will welcome you guys back onto this podcast to have a rant about it, should you so desire.
Yeah.
I think Sword Art Online is a very important series to discuss.
Yeah, definitely.
It's definitely a milestone within the anime community.
Yeah, it really is. It's very important.
At the same point, though, we could have done without season 2.
I haven't got to it yet. That's why I need to watch it. I need to know for like academic purposes.
It's one of those. Oh, Kirito's having a mental breakdown. What the fuck's new with the shonen character?
All right then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to the Anime Abroad Yui's podcast. That's the best way I could put it with it. You can find us on iTunes, just search for the Anime Abroad podcast. You can find us on YouTube, because you're on YouTube listening to us right now. You can find us over on Podcast Garden, if people use that at all. It's just for our RSS feed, so we can stick it on iTunes. Episode 11 isn't on iTunes yet, because there was a fuck up with Podcast Garden. But if you want any of our podcasts on MP3 or whatever, just message us. We'll fix you up with that. Tom, Andrew, do you want to drop your links and plugs and what have you?
Yeah. Just my Twitter would be my Twitter I have 3 accounts, but Yui's Pod, you probably find it by searching it. But I'll give you a link to put down there.
This will all be in the description below.
Down in the doobly-doo.
Okay.
That's what a lot of YouTubers call the bottom bar. Down in the doobly-doo.
Okay.
That's so
YouTube
funny.
You watching?
Don't diss me on my doobly-doo.
And Tom, where can we find you?
Virulence on YouTube and Twitter. That's Virulence, you know. If you put it in the description, you'll have to spell it. I'm not going to spell it out.
So you can find all of that glorious stuff in the description below. And gentlemen, thank you very much for coming onto the podcast. And I'll be seeing you.
See you guys.
All right, bye.
Bye. By the way, just before we go, I think I've discovered what my actual fetish is.
Oh, go on.
Knee socks.
And on that bombshell, goodbye.